Today's episode is brought to you by Audible.com. Get a free audiobook download and 30-day free trial at audibletrial.com/HadokenDebt. If you are really big into Star Wars and you have to have a Star Wars book that is part of the canon, then they have all those books on there. They have one that I'd recommend is The Catalyst. It's a Rogue One novel. It's actually a prequel to Rogue One, the movie that's coming out in December, and it's by a fantastic writer, James Luceno. He is so good with writing these Star Wars books. I've read a couple of his, and he's just fantastic. So go to audibletrial.com/HadokenDebt for your free trial and free audiobook.
He was the only reason I watched it, besides knowing you watched it and said you liked it. So,
I just like how in Lethal Weapon, how just the differing personalities come together and they solve the case. Mm-hmm. I know that format has been used billion times, but maybe I just have this nostalgia factor with Lethal Weapon.
I'm thankful. One thing I'm thankful from is the first episode they didn't say I'm getting too old for this.
He did almost say it though.
They didn't say it.
He didn't say it.
But it was implied through the entire episode. I'm like, you've had a heart surgery or something, and your wife is all worried about you, and you got to keep your little pacemaker thing from spiking.
Apple Watch, yeah.
and I'm sitting there thinking, like, this is the weird thing about it is I'm like, Damon Wayans, you're not old enough to be the old guy in this. And then I go back and 50? I look at, he's 56 years old.
Oh my gosh.
And Danny Glover in the first Lethal Weapon was only 41 years old. So he's actually 15 years older than Danny Glover was when he was pretending to be the old man.
And Danny Glover looks like way older. And that was in the first one. Like, whatever.
Danny Glover's only 70 now, so he's only 14 years older than Damon Wayans, but he played an old guy 30 years ago. Now, I will say this about Lethal Weapon. At least it's not MacGyver.
Oh, my gosh.
And this season, I don't know if this season tops the charts at rebooting old movies into TV shows or what. Or MacGyver. Old shows. But it's like, didn't you guys learn your lesson when you guys tried to reboot Knight Rider a couple years ago?
Yeah.
And got one season
which
out
I
of it?
Watched. Yeah.
Did you?
It was okay.
I watched one episode.
Yeah.
Couldn't even make it through the whole episode.
I forgot where I saw this, but it was like it was a cartoon, and they were making fun of Lethal Weapon, and they're like, it had like these two babies in a carriage, and they flip out and they start shooting guns, and it's like Lethal Weapon 5 or Lethal Babies, nap time's over.
So I gave it a try.
Yeah.
I don't think I could give it another episode. So I'm sorry.
Okay, well.
Plus I'm glad. It was a brutal first few minutes of that show when they showed what happened to his wife and everything like that.
Ooh, yeah.
They didn't do that in the movies at all. They just kind of talked about it.
Yeah.
But I'm glad they went there instead of joking like they did. This kind of made me upset when Damon Wayans joked about having to babysit some homicidal PTSD freak or something like that just because he found out that the guy was a veteran.
Right.
I'm like, okay, come on.
Yeah.
That was kind of offensive.
Yeah.
So.
But I guess Riggs, when he went over for dinner, he was like making a joke because the Damon Wayans' son wanted to join the military, and I guess Riggs was trying to be funny and be honest and be like, yeah, join it if you want to see your friend's head blown off, So yeah.
Yeah.
So no episode 2 for you. I got it.
Episode 2 for me on Lethal Weapon.
I think I like it also because it's something Janie can watch with me. She watched it with me and she liked it. She thought it was funny.
Cool. That's cool. Number 1 on my list of new, and we're starting this Friday. Luke Cage on Netflix is my most anticipated show this season.
That's awesome.
I'm looking forward to this. The previews for this have just gotten better and better. He was an awesome character in Jessica Jones. I think it's going to be an awesome season. Brutal, really dark and crazy, and we're starting it Friday night. It comes out after this episode debuts. So,
I wonder. I'm sure Jessica Jones will maybe make an appearance.
I think
probably
so
because they're like dating. Or
Well, I think this is before Jessica Jones.
Oh, okay.
At least from what I can tell from the previews, this is a prequel to the Jessica Jones series because he's still kind of reluctant to use his ability to do anything. Whereas in Jessica Jones, he was punching people out.
right,
all the
yeah,
time,
he
so
kind of accepted
he seemed
it.
more comfortable with himself in Jessica Jones.
Mm-hmm.
That's my take on it. I don't know, but we're getting together Friday night to watch 2 or 3 episodes of it. So
Nice.
looking forward to that.
Mm-hmm.
What else you got?
Well, I saw these 2 shows that I might watch, but
Mhm.
I don't know if I will. I saw there's one on 2 of them, both of them on CBS. Man with a Plan. That's Matt LeBlanc,
Okay.
and I guess he's like a family man.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's Kevin,
Stay-at-home dad.
stay-at-home dad, yeah, and Kevin Can Wait. That's with Kevin James.
Okay.
I think they'll be funny, but I don't like how shows make dads to be like bumbling idiots. Because Kevin Can Wait is basically King of Queens,
Mhm.
like 10 years later.
Yeah.
And he's going to be like just stupid and like, oh, I didn't know I left the, gas can near the fire and our house burned down or
Yeah.
something. So those are my notable mentions.
I actually didn't have any sitcoms on my anticipated shows.
Mm.
So I saw those, wasn't really interested in them. Joel McHale has got a show also. It was funny because Man with a Plan kind of sounded like half of Last Man Standing.
Yeah, which I
And then-
started, by the way.
And then Joel McHale, which was a great first season, bad second season. And then Joel McHale's got one where he's an outdoor online camping catalog kind of photographer.
Yeah,
or
it's the
something
same
like
thing
that.
as...
And then comes home to work at the home office. And I'm like, hey, that's the other half of Last
know.
Man Standing. So they've split it into 2 shows now. So I didn't put any of those down. Other ones I didn't. Some other ones that I'm looking forward to. I didn't even know about this one until I sent you that link of dramas.
Mhm.
But a show on HBO called Westworld.
Oh, I didn't... Yeah.
I guess it was a show in the 70s, but it's like a wild, wild west fantasy world inhabited by robots that turn.
Ooh.
And it looked really cool. I watched a preview for it, and it's apparently like this fantasy theme park that you can go into in the future. It all takes place in the future, and you like pay to enter this fantasy theme park, and the whole theme park is staffed by robots. But it's in the wild, wild west, so you can do like whatever you want to in this theme park kind of a thing. But the robots awaken and start to realize that they're robots and stuff, and then end up taking
Self-aware.
over. Yeah. So I'm like, oh, that could be really interesting. So that's on HBO. I think it starts Sunday night. So I'm going to check that out.
Awesome. Yeah.
And then I've got
go ahead. Sorry.
one last remake that that I am looking forward to is The Exorcist.
Ooh.
Is on Fox. And I started to watch it last night. I didn't get but 5 minutes into it before it was bedtime. But I talked to my coach about it. She loves horror movies and stuff like that, and she said that this one's actually pretty scary for a network TV
Okay.
show.
I don't like scary movies, and I don't like possession stuff. My friend Tim had a Ouija board, and for Halloween they wanted to start doing it, and I'm like, nope,
Yeah.
I'm going home.
So that's the only kind of scary movie that I like is supernatural scary movies. I love anything with a priest or with I like supernatural.
Okay.
I like angels and demons fighting and stuff like that.
See, I don't like supernatural stuff because you can't fight it with like a gun or a bat. But
so you fight it with salt
like
and
holy water
crucifixes and, holy
and
water.
garlic. I like scary movies where it's a guy in a hockey mask and I can take a chainsaw to him and take a baseball bat.
See, that's too realistic for me. That could actually happen.
Yeah.
And the possession, angels, demons, all that kind of stuff, that's not going to happen. So that's why I'm fine with it. The whole thing of, and supernatural is fun because if you are a Christian and if you know anything about the Bible, the stuff that they come up with is just
isn't going to happen.
Bananas.
Yeah.
They're like, stuff like God has a sister, and his sister is the darkness.
Yeah.
And the darkness is angry at God because she wasn't good enough for him, so he created humans. and stuff like that.
Okay, well, yes, when you say stuff like that, yes.
But the Exorcist and all that kind of supernatural stuff, that's just as off the wall bonkers.
Okay.
That salt and crucifixes and holy water and anything like that actually works on possession.
Yeah, I just get scared by that stuff. It reminds me, the off the wall kind of stuff that doesn't scare me is like the movie Warlock. Did you ever see that movie?
Mm-hmm.
It was basically this like wizard guy. He was a bad guy. He wanted to find this book where it said the name of God, and if he could say it backwards, he would just bring chaos to the whole world.
Okay.
I was like, what, dog? I don't know.
That's funny. Or
But
like
yeah.
Dogma.
Yeah.
Matt Damon and Ben Affleck, where there's a loophole to get them back into heaven. But if they do that, they destroy the entire world.
The off the wall stuff doesn't bother me, but I mean, me and yours definition of off the wall is different, because I think exorcisms, that stuff, like in my mind, I'm like, okay, yeah.
See, I grew up in a church and in a world where all that stuff was real. And demonic possession was a very frequent thing, and rock and roll and all that kind of stuff. I grew up in that kind of Christianity, and I don't live in that kind of Christianity anymore. And I can see the folly of living in that kind of Christianity.
Yeah.
And so anything that mocks it or anything that destroys it or tears it down, I'm all for.
Or satirizes it.
Yeah. Satirizes it. Treats it as the joke that it is. Because in my Christianity, Christ died and defeated evil once and for all.
This is the...
and Satan is destroyed and dead, and Satan has no power on this world anymore. And Christ won. And so we don't have to worry about angels fighting demons in Armageddon.
Yeah.
It's not going to be a fight. Jesus already won that battle on the cross. So that's why I don't mind it as much anymore.
No, that makes sense to me.
And plus, most exorcism shows and stuff like that deal with the Catholic Church.
It's always the Catholic Church.
Which is amusing. So.
Speaking of Catholic Church, in the Jim Gaffigan show, have you ever watched that? Okay. Well, he has this awesome, I think the priest is like Kenyan or Nigerian or something. Mm-hmm. But the priest is always asking Jim to do stuff, help out at church, and he's not a bad guy. But in the one episode, in episode 1, season 2, the priest is showing up wherever Jim is going to ask him, "Hey, can you volunteer for this? Hey, can you run this?" And Jim's like, like scared. But it turns out the priest used to be a very adventurous guy. Used to be on this big soccer team, Manchester United. He used to be a Calvin Klein model, and then he went to business school. And Jim's like, "Why did you throw away all that stuff to become a priest? It's not really the best title, in our church, if you know what I mean." And he's just, so it's just funny, the point was the priest was called to do that, and Jim, this whole season is basically Jim finding out what his calling is. Mm-hmm. So it's interesting.
I got 2 more that are coming out on Netflix later this fall.
Okay.
Gilmore Girls reboot. I'm looking forward to that one. Me and John are. So looking forward to that. Sarah and I will watch that one together. And then the White Rabbit Project. Have you heard of this one?
Mm-mm.
So this is the
Alice in Wonderland?
No.
Okay.
Alice in Wonderland reboot.
Yeah.
This is the other half of the Mythbusters team.
Oh, okay.
Grant Imahara and those guys. And they've got a Netflix-only show that's coming out.
Awesome.
Where they kind of bust more myths, but I couldn't really tell from the preview. They're not really busting myths. It's not Mythbusters 2.0. It's like their own thing. So I'm looking forward to that.
That's cool. Yeah. Did you have another one you wanted to check out?
Or you can go.
Okay.
I got 2 more.
The 3 that I want to check out is Timeless. Mm-hmm. It's on NBC. I don't know when it's coming out or if it already did come out, but it's a time travel show. I never got into Last Man on Earth.
Yeah.
And you told me about Frequency on the CW.
Yep, I've got that on my list
yeah.
too.
Because that was a really good movie.
That was a really good movie. So looking forward to Frequency. Last Man on Earth started up again, so it's got 2 episodes into it this season. But yeah, It's a great show.
Is it?
So, yeah, it's
Okay.
funny. I like it a lot.
Will
No, I'm kidding.
no. Will Smith. No.
Um,
Will Sasso. No.
my gosh, I can't ever remember
Will
his
Forte.
name. Forte.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
And Jason Sudeikis
Yeah.
was in season 2 of it too.
Okay.
Um,
Well, I'm not gonna watch it now. He's not the last man on earth.
yeah,
Uh,
it's funny though.
okay.
His name's actually Phil Miller, so I gave my friend Phil Miller a hard time about that. I'm like, how are you not watching the show? You're on TV. You're famous.
Let me do my Phil impression. You need some wood, Charlie? You need me to cut down some wood, Charlie? Yeah. I don't know. I can't do, I
Wow.
haven't talked to that guy in like a year.
So let's make fun of him while we're at it. That's pretty funny.
Okay.
Got any more?
No.
I got one more.
Yeah.
And it doesn't come out until next spring, so it doesn't really count. But I've been looking forward to it. Powerless on NBC.
Powerless.
Powerless is a DC Universe TV show, sitcom. It's going to be the first sitcom in the DC Universe, and they're not superpowered at all, but it's the insurance company that has to take care of cleaning up the messes from the DC superheroes. And the
Oh my
concept of it is amazing. to me.
Gosh.
It stars the guy who plays Abed in Community, and it's
Yeah.
got some other people in it too as well. But I love the concept of it. There's a comic that I've read before. It's called The Hero Business, and it's about the marketing agency that works with superheroes to help reinvent their backstory and, you know, come up with costumes and, you know, tell them if they're trending and stuff like that.
Uh-huh.
But I just love that idea of support services for
superheroes.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And I would love to see like Powerless if they're an insurance company, so I want to see like the accountants that have to come in and total up the damage to the city that Superman just did in his battle with General Zod, because I'd love to get into those kind of details. Anybody that's like, we're going to calculate out Bruce Wayne's net worth.
Yeah.
And this is how much he'd have to be worth to have this kind of bat cave and these kind of resources. That kind of stuff is interesting.
Well, it kind of reminds me of at the end of X-Men Apocalypse? No. Yeah. X-Men
the most
Apocalypse.
recent one.
Yeah, that was in the 80s, right?
Yes.
Where at the end, this cleaning crew came into Stryker's laboratory and
Yeah.
started cleaning up,
Mm-hmm.
like clean up all the blood, glass.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I like that concept.
That's awesome.
I'm looking forward to it. Starts in May.
I'm sure they get paid a lot too,
Sure.
if it's a government.
I don't know.
I mean-
assume superheroes pay insurance premiums.
Well, their insurance premium is probably through the roof.
I know, right? So, one last thing I want to talk about shows this season. This makes me sad. I found out that the CW is not on Hulu anymore.
No?
No. So the CW, I thought this was really cool, but I didn't think of the ramifications of it. The CW struck a deal with Netflix that they're going to
Oh.
release all of their shows
Yeah.
within a week of the season finales,
Yeah,
which
because
means you'll be able to watch them all summer. Unfortunately, that gets rid of their deal that they had with Hulu, where you can watch them the next day.
Mhm.
So no more CW on Hulu. And since 1, 2, 3, 4 of the shows I've already mentioned and a few that I haven't are CW shows, I'm not going to be able to watch them on Hulu. And that makes me sad.
Yeah, because last night I watched episode 1 of Supergirl on Netflix.
Yes. Yeah, so you can watch past seasons on
Yeah.
Netflix, but I'm not going to be able to keep up with current seasons on Hulu.
Guess
So
you're
what they're
gonna-
doing, CW, you can download an app for CW that's
Oh.
just their shows.
Okay.
Unfortunately, that'll only work on certain players. So my
Mhm.
Samsung Smart TV doesn't have that app, and so I'm not going to be able to watch them on my TV. I'm only going to be able to watch them on my phone. Maybe my Kindle. I haven't checked, but probably not.
Mhm.
So my phone and my browser, I guess. So that's kind of a bummer
Yeah.
because I watch a lot of shows on my TV.
Yeah, did I tell you I signed up? I got Sling TV.
Mm-mm.
Sling TV is only it's like there's a couple tiers, but it's the one I got is $25 a month. You get NBC, Fox, ABC, TBS, AMC,
Mm-hmm.
so I can watch Walking Dead. Like I'd watch that because I'm still in season 2, but and Comcast Sports Network, so for the Capitol. So I think that's a really good deal instead of getting DirecTV. So, and it's all through internet. So
Cool.
it's not bad. And they gave me a free Roku player too.
Didn't work with CBS though.
No, they don't. I don't think it has CBS.
Yeah.
Same with Hulu.
And CBS actually owns the CW, which I didn't realize either.
So that's why both of them aren't on Hulu.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because
Stinks.
I wanted to watch Big Bang on Hulu, but nope.
Yep. CBS requires you to get CBS All Access, which is a $7 a month subscription to watch their shows on the internet. So
What world are we living in? I like
know.
it, but it's going to be like you pay $5 a month just for this channel,
yeah,
which I wouldn't mind that.
I would be fine with that, but you also have to use that channel's apps
yeah.
to watch it. And the reason they want to do that is because if CBS puts its shows on Hulu or if CW puts its shows on Hulu, they don't get any ad revenue from
Right.
Hulu. They just get the deal between the two.
Mm-hmm.
If they have their own show on their own app, on their own webpage, they get to run their own ads through it. They get paid for their own ads. And that's the downside of it.
Mm-hmm.
So sucks for us as the user too, because if we are a non-TV user,
Yeah.
we now have to go to like 5 different websites.
Yeah.
So I've actually stopped watching shows in the past when they took them off Hulu
Yeah.
and said come to our own website. So
Mm.
I haven't done that with. I didn't do that with Supergirl. I went and watched that on CBS's website. I don't think I'll do that with CW just because I have so many shows that I watch there. But it's a bummer to have to do that now.
I do love Netflix though, because Netflix is like, we don't care about fall TV to spring. We're just gonna release every episode right now, and you can binge them, and they make millions.
And it only costs you $8 a month.
Yep, or 10.
Or 10, whatever. Cool.
All right.
That's what I got.
Okay. We'll wrap this episode up. Where can people find you?
On Instagram at CP_EH.
And I'm on Twitter at Charchangs and Instagram. And don't forget to support us at patreon.com/HadoukenDebt. So
See ya.
Later.
Hadoken!